Okay, welcome to day 2 of the Oracle Reading Challenge. Today we're going to talk about confidence in your readings, whether you're doing that for yourself or someone else. Then we'll go ahead and jump right in. Number 1 is to use your book. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Most Oracle decks do come with a book, and the reason is, like I said yesterday, the creators of these Oracle decks, these are channeled messages that you can't possibly memorize. There's so many cards in a deck that you can't possibly memorize every single card, and don't let that stop you from going ahead and bringing that gift to your clients or to your family and friends, other people that you want to read for. I've been reading for 20 years and I still use the book, not so much for the tarot cards because I've learned the system, but like the Enchanted Map deck, this one's fairly new to me and I still use the book. I do pick up some intuitive hits on it occasionally, but with the Oracle cards, I always read from the book when I draw cards, just until I get a really good grasp on the energy of the cards. And again, the Oracle cards are being channeled by their creator, so in every deck that you come across will have different meanings. So unlike tarot, there's not like one basic overarching energy or theme for the various cards that you have in a deck. Reading the book will also help you understand the energy that is present, and it ensures that your client receives the full meaning of what's being channeled through the cards. Sometimes while you're reading, you will receive additional intuitive messages. Always let your client know that. If you have that little bit of extra guidance coming through, don't question it or try to make sense of it. Just relay that information to your client. Most of the time they'll know what you're talking about anyway, even if it doesn't make sense to you, and I have a perfect example of that in one of my own readings. And of course, for client confidentiality, I can't tell you who this is, but I was doing a business reading for a client, and she came to me about developing courses that she wanted to include in her business. And she wanted to gain more of a focus around what she should be offering to her tribe and her clients. And I don't remember every card that I pulled for that reading, but one really stood out to me, and it was a card about tapping into the wisdom of our ancestors and drawing from what we've already learned through them. And when I drew this particular card, a very vivid vision came to me about a woman. And I saw this woman like dancing in these swirls and this cloud of energy. And I had no idea what that meant or what that could mean to her. And I almost didn't tell her because she was wanting like a more professional business type reading. So I went ahead and offered up that vision to her, and I let her know up front, I'm not really sure what this would mean for you or to you, but here's what I'm seeing. And I explained that vision to her about the woman, like dancing around in that energy, and she said, I totally get that. I know exactly what you're talking about. She said, I can't explain it all to you here on this call, but I do a certain type of meditation where I do dance with the energy of the universe, just to put it in a nutshell. And I was like, oh, thank goodness that I trusted my intuition and went ahead and shared that vision, even though it made absolutely no sense to me and seemed like it didn't have anything at all to do with what she was coming to me for guidance about. I shared that anyway, and it actually ended up, she developed some things around that, and she's doing quite well with it. So let's see. So key number 1 is to use your book. There's nothing wrong with it. And key number 2 to help you build your confidence is to understand that skill and intuition can be developed while interpreting the cards by practicing storytelling. If you are asking or being asked a specific question, take the energy of the card and fit that into the subject of the question. And I will give you an example using a reading on relationships. I don't do these very often anymore. And simply because it's a touchy subject for some people, and if you don't tell them what they want to hear, then they're not very happy with your services. So I've kind of steered away from those. I do them on occasion, but if I can kind of sense when somebody's just coming to me to have me tell them what they want to hear and not what spirit wants them to hear, so I kind of take it from there. So I'm actually shuffling my cards now, and we're going to pretend that let's pretend that Jill has come to me and wants to know if Jack loves her. So we're going to do Jack and Jill. When you're doing a reading for someone and they're involving another person in the reading, it's always best to get clear in your mind that you're not necessarily diving into the energy of the person that's not present and that has not given you permission to give them a reading. You want to bring that around to the subject of the reading, which would be the relationship, the energy. So what you want to do when for instance, Jill wants to know if Jack loves her. You want to reframe your question to be something like, what does Jill need to know for her highest good about her relationship with Jack, instead of asking specifically what Jack's thoughts are and how he feels about the relationship. We'll just take the relationship in general for Jack and Jill. And this is made up, so it may not make very much sense, but we'll see. Okay. So I will select a card. Okay. So what we have for Jack and Jill is the Wizard of Awareness reversed. And I'll read this directly from the book to give you an example. Okay. The Wizard of Awareness comes to you in this position to warn you that too much force behind a desire for a specific outcome robs you of a true and full experience. Step back, take your energy away from your situation, and focus on gratitude for the ever-changing conditions of life. Are you perhaps trying to control the outcome of something because you don't trust in your highest good? Meditate, be still, and your answer will come without any effort on your part. Be a neutral observer, and you'll see how this moment is but a very small marker on the map of your life's journey. Okay, so, and to make that a little bit clearer about the reading that we're doing, a relationship with Jack and Jill, my immediate thought is that in this situation, she's putting too much force behind trying to make Jack love her and trying to get the relationship to work out in a way that suits her, and not taking the time to really tune in and see either how she could help heal this relationship if there's an issue going on, or how she could just relax and let the relationship unfold the way that it should be. So she's trying to hold on to too much control in that relationship. And that's just an example of, a way that you could reframe the meaning from the book, or to make that connection between the question and the card that you drew. So, and we'll flip that a little bit, and we'll use the same card, and we'll pretend that Jill came to us for guidance on her work life. She wanted to know, should she leave her job? And again, that would be pretty much, the essence is still the same. She needs to let go of the control of trying to force her way or her desires into her work position, how she wants things done in the office, or, wherever, or if she's working in her own business, to step back and let spirit, flow through that a little bit, and to give up trying to control every aspect of everything that's going on around her. And so that's just an example of how you can tailor the messages from the cards into the energy or the subject that you're asking about. And it's really pretty easy. And it kind of turns into like if you're doing more than one card, it will turn into like a storytelling thing, but not like false storytelling or, make believe, not making things up. It's being able to take those elements of your question and the card that you drew around that question, or whatever position that card is in, and being able to tailor the energy of that card around that subject. And it gets easier the more that you practice. We're starting with one card readings, of course, here, and tomorrow we'll actually be jumping into doing 3 cards, so that you can start to see how certain positions mean certain things. And then as you practice, you'll be able to run that through like a storyline. Okay, so that was key number 2. Just practicing with your intuition and making those combinations of the cards and the questions. Key number 3 is to stop and slow down. Don't rush the process. If you need to pause for a minute during a reading and recenter to tap into that energy again, do so. Allow a moment for the message to form. Don't rush it. There's nothing wrong with stopping for a few minutes, getting yourself recentered and rebalanced, and to tap back into the energy of the reading that you're in. And don't let the desire to be right or perfect override what you're being shown. Don't grasp for messages and meanings. If it's not coming to you, it's not coming to you. And simply tell your client something like, we'll revisit this card in a minute. The message isn't quite clear for me yet. And I've really never had a client get upset over something like that. Whether you're stopping to pause or you're just not really clear on the message. So as you practice more, you'll see that your intuition will start to kick in more frequently. And that's because as the nervousness and the fear starts to dissolve, you begin to open up to receive more intuitive messages during your readings. Okay, so to recap, number 1 is to read the meaning of the book when you're doing a reading. It's perfectly fine. I've been doing it for 20 years, and I still use the book except for during the tarot readings because I learned that system. Number 2 is to practice the storytelling with weaving different elements of the question in the card. Just practice. Like, it really doesn't have to you don't have to have like real questions while you're practicing. It's just you need to practice the subject of the question and the meaning of the card. So that's number 2. And number 3 is just to stop and slow down. Tap into the energy and your intuition again. Take your time. Okay, so let's look at day 2 of your workbook. And for day 2, you should have already completed the date, the goal, and the affirmation from yesterday, as well as the card you pulled to start your day. If you haven't done so, you can go ahead and do that. Your next question is, what can I do to help build confidence for my highest good? And if you're feeling a little bit more courage today, you can jump on live over in the Facebook group and actually answer this question for each of the sisters in your circle. Don't forget to tag them so they may find you. And if you don't want someone else to read for you, jump in your circle and say, I'm out. I don't want you to read for me. We kind of need permission from everybody to do it. I'm in, I'm out. Whatever. But don't forget to tag them when you do the live reading so that they can go back. They'll see in their notifications that there is a video there specifically that has a reading in there for them. Okay, and if you're not comfortable going live, if you don't want to do that, if you have no desire to do live readings, but you still want to practice, you can just create a regular text post there in the Facebook group. And be sure that you're tagging all of the sisters that you're reading for, asking that same question. what can so-and-so do to help build their confidence for their highest good. And if you don't want to do any readings for anybody at all, then you can just simply ask the question for yourself and do your own reading. Okay, and it may seem that the affirmation that we did yesterday and the confidence builder that we're doing today is the exact same thing, but they aren't. They're similar, but the affirmation is a new thought that you can begin to think. And the confidence builder is actually guidance around an action that you can take, something that you can actually do to start building that confidence. And tomorrow we're going to go a little more in depth with spreads and the concept of fortune telling. I will get on a soapbox with that one. And before we jump off of here, I do have a surprise for you. Locate the post titled Energy Healing, and if you'd like, I'll select a card for you that will contain a physical object or representation that you can bring into your environment to boost your confidence, your energy, and your intuition, along with a short message. Sometimes it has another affirmation there for you, or a little bit more guidance, a little bit more of a boost for what we're doing here. And it could be an animal, a plant, a crystal, a sound. There's many things. I've got a different deck that I'll be pulling from for you. So just type a comment in that post and I'll reply with your card. And that is the Energy Healing post. And I will see you tomorrow.